This presentation will be over the 411 on PBIS. What is it really anyway? For your learning targets, at the end of this, we would like for you to be able to define PBIS and identify the levels of PBIS, as well as explain the importance of PBIS in creating a safe school environment. Poor behavior is frustrating for everyone. Inappropriate behavior presents major challenges for educators and is a problem many teachers deal with daily. And much of the frustration on the part of teachers and staff result from needing support to deal with behavior issues. And this has been supported in research, who also saw that most requests for help from school staff actually involves behavioral issues. This increase in troubled behavior might be attributed to an increase in students who are coming to school unprepared. They are unable to cope with academic demands, and potentially who are unfamiliar with social skills regarding school conduct and turn taking. The overall concerns of teachers, as well as the general public, may be the lack of discipline and control in schools, as reported in a study back from 2008, and a concern that comes up routinely when discussing student behavior is school safety and how it involves keeping our learning environment safe. So this is where PBIS comes into play. So PBIS, according to ODE, stands for or is defined as a school-wide systematic approach to embed evidence-based practices and data-driven decision-making to improve school climate and culture in order to achieve improved academic and social outcomes and increase learning for all students. Positive behavioral intervention and support is consistent with the response to intervention models continuum, as those students who are responsive at each tier require less support and resources in the form of behavioral or academic intervention, and as both approaches incorporate effective practices for working with students' challenging behavior. So really, PBIS is more of, it's that RTI model. However, it's for that behavioral side. So is PBIS a solution? While a main feature of PBIS is its focus on student behavioral outcomes, the fundamental goal of most behavior support systems is to help students improve academic achievement, social relations with peers and teachers, as well as to create a safe school environment. So here's what PBIS looks like. And like I'd mentioned, it takes on that same model as RTI. It's just that behavioral side. And there are 3 levels. There's the primary prevention, or that bottom level. And this covers the majority of the student, or really all of the student population. Then you have that middle level and then the 3rd level. And I'm going to get into those more specifically now. The primary level of PBIS is really what establishes the overall behavioral expectations throughout Milford High School. The overall expectations are identified by the team and defined for all academic areas, including transition areas and times such as in the hallways, the restrooms, the lunchrooms, and during arrivals and departures from school. The expectations displayed prominently throughout the school positively state what behaviors are to be demonstrated. Teacher and staff routinely go over the expectations, encouraging adherence to these standards and rules in all settings. These are our 3 pillars: accountability, integrity, and resilience. And we will get more into this piece in the second half of the professional development today. The secondary level of PBIS, or that middle level, so now we're narrowing it down a little more and we're addressing a smaller number of students. These students who are being served at the second level benefit from progress monitoring behaviors identified as problematic or chronic. This could even be attendance. It doesn't necessarily have to be, disrespect in the classroom. It could be something identified as problematic, such as attendance. Students may also utilize the check-in and out program with a teacher identified as being a support person for that individual student. The checking in and out allows that teacher to remind the student daily of the expectations and to set small daily challenges that facilitate success for that student. Students at the second level, however, are still held to the first level. Then now, even more narrow, if you think back to that visual, now we're at the very top of that pyramid. So the third level of PBIS addresses an even smaller number of students. Students with continued problem behaviors are identified as needing individualized interventions. These students still utilize the supports from the first two levels, but in addition also receive additional behavior interventions in addition to the bottom two levels. This could be something specific like an individual student behavior plan, or it could also be a functional behavior assessment. And with a functional behavior assessment, we actually would get down to the root cause of the behaviors and then put in a student behavior plan based on that. But we're talking very intensive services. This is a very small number of students at the very top of the pyramid. Students receive behavior plans that are tailored to the overall expectations of the building, and data continues to be collected through the progress monitoring in order to see if the interventions that had been selected are in fact improving the behavior. So now that we've just gone over the basis of what PBIS is and why it's important, as well as the different levels, what we'd like for you to do in your small groups is talk about what are your major takeaways just from this portion of the presentation. So just as some guiding questions, think about what really stuck out to you. What was a main takeaway that you've heard so far? And those main takeaways, why did you find that information valuable? And how do you think PBIS is important in creating a safe school environment? You're going to use the discussion board to type in your group's thoughts, then comment on at least 2 other group discussion posts. Just don't forget to put each of your group members' names on your discussion post when you do submit that. So you don't have to answer every single one of those questions. It's not bullet points. However, those are just some guided questions to get you going for this group discussion.